Good day everyone, my name is Iron L.V. Blañas from 1ITA, and today we're going to discuss the two important part in ticket booking system, which is the option selected and the transaction log method. As you can see here, we use three types of key components, which is the button, the checkbox, and also the label with the container. When you run this program, the components we use will shown here in menu area or lobby area. This is the label, ticket booking system, the buttons, and the checkbox. The seats button will help us to identify how many seats is available every single event. And the checkbox will also help us to choose what event we want. And here in transaction log, this will help us to identify how many seats we buy every single event. For example, you buy a ticket here in concert. Here in the transaction log, the number of tickets you buy will shown here and the total cost. uh, um, the clear and back button is also part of a transaction log. If you already saw the number of tickets you buy, you can click the button back to get back to lobby area. In the clear button, this method will discussed by one of my group mates. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone. Today we'll talk about the one of our three important elements or method of our ticketing system, the concert option, the concert block. Let's discuss this first. So concert option is like a light switch for our concert stage. It's basically when the user select the concert, this part of our program will take its place. For better illustration, let's try it on option to run this and select the concert and proceed to buy the tickets. As you can see here, the program will ask the user first how many tickets he wants to buy. Let's say it's two. And we are here now in our concert save line. You can see here that all the variables that we call in this part of our program is visible. And basically that's it. Let's now proceed to the concert block. Concert block is like when the user is now complete his transaction and the program will re-over to the lobby. To understand it better, let's try it out. Let's say it's VIP 1, you want the VIP 1 and the box is 2. Yes. You can see here his total amount of price that you need to pay. See, we're back in our menu of our ticketing booking system, and that's the option of our concert option and concert box. As you can see here, the concert box is quite similar to the concert option, but the difference is that the variables that we called earlier from the concert option is now set visible to false, and we added the variables or the elements of the menu and set it to visible to redo the program. And that's it. In essence, concert option and get us into the concert and the concert back get us back out. It's all about making things easy to move around in our ticketing system. But there's an instance the user wants to cancel this transaction. Let's try this. You can see here the button and arrow on the left side. It's basically the button back. If the user try to cancel this transaction, he can or she can click this and click this. And the transaction cancelled, no fees were charged. It's basically we also go back in our menu of our program. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, greetings everyone. My name is Ken Justin Asilo and my part is to discuss the method sports option and sports back. Well, what is the main point of this method sports option? The main point is to show the components of the sports menu visible. So we would set it to visible. And this set bounds will set the width and height of the program in our design of the sports menu, and set location will make the program run in the middle of every aspect ratio of the screen, and this content pane set background would set the background color of our sports menu to whatever we designed it, and this would show the components of the sports menu. And sports method is called here if the checkbox sport is selected. It would be called after the option selected method, which the option selected method is doing to hide the components of the lobby menu, and we'll call the sports option after that, which would show the components of the sports menu. Next is the sports back method. What does the sports back method do? Well, it do hide the components of the sports menu and would change it back to the lobby menu. Then this set bounds will set the size of the program to the lobby menu and change background color to the lobby menu also. Set location is to center the application in the middle of the screen. And this set visible to true is this is the components of the lobby menu, which would we would turn back to true again because we want to go back into the lobby menu, and this false method will hide the components of the sports menu. Then this true is also making the components of the lobby menu true. Sports back method is called here in the sports back button. It is called if the user click the back menu sports back or back menu at the sports, and it is always called in every seat. It is assigned in every seat if the if all the seats that the user buy tickets availed have reached its limit, then we will use the method sportsback to redirect the user back to the lobby menu. I will show you how that works. Here, when I check the sportsback and buy tickets, then it would call the option selected and the sports option, which would redirect me to the sports menu after I book the tickets I need. Let's say I need 2 tickets. And here, it redirects me to the sports menu. If I select 2 tickets, then I would have this prompt which would I like to book the tickets, and yes, okay, okay. Then it would redirect me back to the lobby menu with the sports back method. And sports back method is also used here, the back button here in the sports menu. If I click this button, then it would call the method sports back, which would redirect me back to the lobby menu. And it would prompt me if I am sure to cancel the booking. If I click yes, then I would be back to the lobby menu. If no, then no, and cancel it, then no. So I would click yes to then transaction canceled. Okay, then that's it.
My name is Janisidor Granada, and right now we will explain about concert option. So in concert option, we have here con B con BP to con BP1 to con BP10, and then we have label con stage, and then we have PT and seat 1 to 10. Then we have a label here, label new label, and then label of VIP standing. So let's run this program. So you can see our lobby ticket booking system. So select a concert and then buy a ticket. And you can see they have a message that seat availability, VIP seat 10, box seat 10, and total available seats is 20. So that's okay. So we have again a message. So enter a number of your ticket you want to buy in a concert. So let's select 5 and then okay. So they have a message again, you plan to book 5 ticket. Then okay again. So you can see they have box seat 1 to 10, and then they have a VIP 1 to 10 again. So they have a stage and they have a box seat to how much, and VIP and how much VIP. So let's select VIP 1, 2, and then 3, box seat 3, and box seat 4, and then VIP 5. So we have again a message that book a ticket. If you want to book that, click yes, and if you don't want to book it, then no it. So let's click yes. So they have a message, seat is booked. The following is your total. So let's okay. And then receipt, and they have a message again that the receipt total VIP ticket is 3. So let's count the VIP, that 1, 2, and 3. So we have a box seat ticket, 2, the box seat 3, and box seat 4. So total prices is 4,800. So let us okay. And then that is what in a concert option. Next is we will discuss about concert back. This is the concert back. So, so let's run again the program. Let's close this first. Then run again. And select again a concert and then buy a ticket. So they have a message again. Then click a 5. Then okay. Then okay. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the book ticket, no. Click no. Then this is the concert back. When you click it, yeah, they have a message or notice. Are you sure to cancel the booking? Yes. And then the transaction closed, no fees were charges. So let's not okay. Then we will back again in the lobby booking system. So in this code, you can see they have false. All of these are false because when you click the book button here, then book it. Then let's book this, yan, like that. Then no, when you click that back button, sorry, yeah, all we have to do is all have a busy, all of the all in a concert option, we will be visible in this um, concert back. So that's all. Thank you.
Greetings, I'm Ara Christine, and I will be explaining the functionality of the checking con and checking con 2. So it contains of two elements which used to manage the status of seats and buttons in a seating arrangement system. Let's start with counter variable to 0 and checks the enable status of 20 buttons BTN Con VIP1 to BTN Con Seat 10. If a button is disabled, is enabled returns false. It sets the corresponding Boolean variable seat1 through seat20 to false, indicating that seat is not available. Next is the checking code 2 method resets the counter of initializes other variables related to purchase tracking. It then goes through each Boolean variable. Seat through seat20, it enables uh, or disables the corresponding button based on the availability status. If a seat is available, seat 1 through seat 20 is true. It enables corresponding button BTN Con VIP1 through button Con Seat 10. Otherwise, it disables the button, preventing users from selecting an unavailable seat. Let me show a example. So here, I'll choose the concert. Let's buy a ticket. Okay, so here we have some seats availability that indicating VIP seats 10, back seats are also 10, so the total of all seats in concert is 20. Let's enter. Okay. For example, let's buy 5 seats, so let's continue clicking to continue until we are taken to the seat plan. So I'll choose the pick uh, any of seats. So if the ticket you bought is already limited, it will be equal to how many tickets you bought. Let's click the OK button. Here's out receipt. So the total are indicating of how many VIP tickets you bought, the back seats, and the total price. So we will be returned to the ticketing system. Let's see the transaction logs. Here's my transaction log. So let's buy tickets again. So now since I have a record of transaction, here are my only available seats. Let's try remaining seats number of seats available. So we see here that the transaction a while ago is still here and the button are disabled like I said before, so that I'm occupying all seats. Let's book tickets. So here in lobby, if I'll buy again tickets, you will not be taken to the seats because I have already occupied all the seats.
Hello, my name is Regina Grace Ayas and I'm here to explain two of the methods in our program, which is the checking scene method, and the checking scene 2 method. These two methods is for checking the availability of the seats in the cinema venue. Let's start with the checking scene method. This method starts with a counter that is initialized to 0. This makes it so that the counter is being reset to 0 every time we make a new transaction. This helps in making the counter not add up to itself whenever we make another transaction. Um, there are 20 if statements here, which is one if statement for each seat in the cinema venue. If we open the program in the cinema section, you can see that all of the buttons are enabled here because all of the seats are currently available. This makes this line of this makes this condition false right now, but if we click a button, it becomes disabled. Then this if condition becomes true and this line of code becomes executed by the program. It's actually connected to the checking scene 2 method. Now that the seat 21 is false, this if statement becomes true and this line of code is being executed by the program. But if we cancel that purchase, the button becomes available again. This is because of this else statement. Once we cancel the purchase, the button becomes available to be clicked again, becomes enabled again. That's because this checking scene 2 method is the one that helps us make a transaction cancelable. These variables are equal to 0 because we call this method when we want to cancel a transaction. So if we purchase a ticket, that button becomes permanently disabled for this transaction as long as we haven't cleared the transaction yet. So this becomes permanently disabled, but this too can be cancelled as long as it is the current transaction. So if you want to buy it, it will become permanently disabled. But of course, we can still clear those transactions, and this will make all of the buttons available again and enabled. That's it for those two methods.
Good day everyone, I am Justin Brillantes and today I'll be explaining some of the variables as well as the body of our code and as well as two other methods here in our project in Java. Our project is called Ticket Booking System. So I'll start with the variables right here. Here we declared VIP sports purchase and as well as the backseat sport purchase. These two are used to keep track of how many VIP seats or box seats the user has purchased in a single transaction. Here we have the sports total, which is used to keep track of the total cost of the seats. Here we have the VIP sports count as well as the box seat sports count. Now these are the total seats. We have 10 VIP and 10 box seats per event. So overall 20, and each for the overall events, we have 60 seats. So right here we have 20 seats for the sports event, and these are all Boolean data types, and all are set to true. And I'll explain why in a bit. But first, I'll explain the um, main menu of our project. So here we have the source code for the main menu. So as you can see, we have 5 buttons and 3 checkboxes. So 3 of the buttons are for viewing the available seats per event, and the other button is used to buy tickets, and the other button is used to view the transaction log. So here in the action listener of the transaction log, we call a method called option selected, which is used to turn everything here in the main menu invisible, and also call a transact method, which is used to call this to turn everything in the transact method into visible. Yeah. We also have the back button for the transaction log, as well as the clear button. These are used to return to the main screen, and the clear button is used to clear the transaction log, as well as the seeds for the events. Here we have the function for the checkbox concept, and as you can see here, when we click a checkbox, the other checkboxes become disabled, and which means we can only engage in a single transaction. We also declare a option check variable here to increment when a checkbox is selected, and when deselected, it returns to a zero value. So here are the action listener for the 3 seats buttons. So it just show the seats available seats. So that's the same with the checkbox console. So the same goes as with the checkbox ports. Here we have the function for the buy tickets button. So the option check earlier, it's actually used here. So remember, when we click a checkbox, it turns into it increments to one, right? And then when we deselect, it returns to zero. So this is the use for that. So it's zero right now. So when it's zero, this error will appear, and when it's equals to one, then user can make the transaction. But the program first checks if the totals is available are not zero. If it's zero, then it will show this line of code. And when successful, when the user can buy a ticket, this line of code will show. This line of code is used to show the seats available. And after that, the program will ask the user to input how many tickets the user would like to buy. If the user didn't input anything, then the try catch will catch it, and it will input this line of code saying invalid input. And when the user cancels, then this line of code appears. And if the user enters a number greater than the total seats, then this code will appear. And when the user inputs negative numbers or zero, then this line of code will appear. But when the user enters a correct input, then the user can start picking the receipts. So that goes with that also applies for the two other checkboxes. So the rest here are the codes for the interfaces of the other events. Everything here is set to false so that when we created a method below so that when we call them their visibility becomes true. So now I'll explain about each seat. So I'll talk about only this seat because it applies to every seat as well. So when we click a seat, the counter increments, which will check if the counter is equals to the input of the user, then the program will show this line of code. So when the user doesn't book the tickets, we call a method to reset everything. So I'll be discussing that as well later. But when the user actually books the tickets, then the seat designated for a button will turn into false. And also the transaction will be stored here in the transaction log. And everything in the text, everything in the main menu will be set to visible again, and the current event will be set to invisible. So here I'll be explaining the checking sports method as well as the checking sports 2 method. So when we call this method, we reset the counter to 0 so that after this transaction, the counter is 0, set to 0 again. So here we check if the button on the Sports VIP one is not enabled, then we turn the respective seat to false. So that's actually connected to the checking sports too. So here, this is when this applies here. So we book two tickets, right? So if we book another ticket, the program will check if the respective seat is already full. So if that's false, then we keep the buttons false, and otherwise it becomes true. So look, see it stays false. It stays disabled. So that's just the function of all of these long line of codes. And, in this method, we also reset the counter and the total as well as the VASP sports purchase as well as the backseat sport purchase. So this is when we cancel the transaction. We call it right here. So everything here resets to 0. That way, everything will stop up. And we do everything like this. There's still two book tickets. So that's pretty much it for those methods. And the other methods, I think that also applies to the other methods, but I think that's it for the checking sports method. Thank you.
Now, greetings everyone. So today we're going to tackle about my start point. So before that, we're going to break down each of these lines under their start point. So in the first line, VIP count equals VIP count minus the VIP count purchase. So in the second line, similar to the first line, the back on count, we're going to subtract it to back on purchase. So VIP count purchase is set to 0. Back count purchase is set also to 0. And the count and back count total is also set to 0. So, so the restart count function is like pressing a reset button for this connection. So it ad- so it adjusts the counts of the IP and backend connection available by subtracting the number connection to purchase. It resets the count of connection purchased to 0. So meaning there have no connections have been bought after the reset. So in simpler terms, so the function of out all of the records of purchase connection results on it counted or totals. So as if no connection have been bought. So this could be useful, for example, if you want to reset the connection count at the beginning of the new session or after completing the second task. So that's all everyone. Greetings everyone. So today I'm going to discuss about the plugin method. So first of all, I'm going to break down each of these lines first. So here we have the if event equals console. So this line checks if the event variable is equal to console. So if it is, it means someone bought a ticket for a console. So after that, we have VIP is VIP count purchase. So this line checks if the variable is greater than 0. So if it is, it means some VIP console ticket were bought. So here we have history log. So here the line adds a message to the log, so indicating that the VIP tickets were purchased along with the quantity. So this method is used to add this message to the log. So what is the logging method? So basically the logging method is like a record keeper. So it checks what kind of event someone bought ticket. So whether it's a concert, a movie, or a sports. So for each type of event, it looks at that ticket they bought. So if they bought VIP tickets for a concert, it writes down how many VIP tickets they got. So allow me to show you. So again, I'm going to buy a ticket for concert. So let's say we're going to buy 3 seats. So VIP1, VIP2, VIP3. So here you see. So it writes down how many tickets they got. So it does the same for the movies and the sports as well. So basically it's keeping track of what tickets were bought for which event and how many. So all of this information is written in a log like a diary program to both one. So that's all.
Donald, greetings everyone. My name is Anila Smart Denzel and I will show you what is the function of the restart, scene, and restart spool methods. These methods are used to reset the state of the cinema and sports ticket booking system. These methods are called after the user completed the purchase or the applications need to reset the available seats and prices for the next user. Now, we will break down the restart scene method. Now we will break down the variables inside the restart scene methods. The VIP scene counts variable stores the number of available VIP tickets for the cinema events. The box scene counts stores the number of available box seat tickets for the cinema events. The VIP scene purchase stores the number of VIP tickets purchased by the user. The box scene purchase stores the number of box seat tickets purchased by the user. And the counter variable stores the number of total tickets selected for purchase by the user, and the scene total variable stores the total price of the tickets purchased by the user. Now, the restart scene method resets the VIP scene purchase and the back scene purchase variables to 0, indicating that no tickets have been purchased for the cinema. The counter variable is also reset to 0, indicating that no tickets have been selected for purchase. Finally, the scene total variable is reset to 0, indicating that no total price has been calculated for the cinema tickets. Now, this is how this works. After you click the seats or the buy tickets, you will be notified by an option pane to inform you the available number of VIP seats and the back seats, and also the total number of seats after that. Then they will ask you to enter a number of tickets to buy, which was stored in the VIP scene purchase and the back scene purchase. Now that you're on the cinema, you can choose whether it's a VIP or the back seats. Then after that, you will be notified again by the receipt that shows the total purchase of your seats. You can also go through the transact log to confirm your purchase, or you can click the seats again to see the available seats, or if you want to purchase again, then you can go to another event of your choosing. In the restart poll method, it is very similar to what I explained in the restart scene method.
Good day, I'm Gonzales Maria Manuela, and I will be explaining the last method used in this program, which is the method private void clear. The purpose or function of this method is to clear or reset the seats total of the prices that the user have purchased. This will be cleared in the transaction log. And for this part, the seats are set to true from seat 1 to 60. Well, this indicates that they will be available again after the clearing or the reset were done. Into this part, this is where the buttons were set to enable true, which corresponds to different sections and seats. And in this part of code, we'll make sure that all the buttons are enabled after the reset or clearing.